Listen, life is short, and without strategy you will waste it. Not because you are too lazy or because you don't care, but because you're moving without a map, and the world is not going to wait for you until you figure it out. So in this video, I'm breaking down 3 concepts, the mental framework that helps you stop walking through life with no map and gives your life direction. And before you think, I already know this, the chances are you don't. Understand that the difference between people who waste their lives and people who make sense of them isn't motivation, it's the strategy. The strategy that lies in how they treat their future self, the responsibility they keep avoiding, and the time they keep pretending they have. 1. Future self disconnect. Would you be surprised if I told you that your future self is the person you hurt today? Yes, the person you are betraying every time you procrastinate or delay for later isn't a stranger. It's still you, but older and wiser at some point in the future. The problem is the signal you misunderstood between the version of you right now and the version of you who wakes up 10 or 15 years from now with back pain, burnout, or debt because you delayed things for later. If you think procrastination is harmless, trust me, it's not. Every skipped workout, every delayed savings plan, every late night scroll isn't just wasted time, it's a bill your future self must pay with a high interest. In 2011, psychologist Hal Hershfield did a brain scan study and found something wild. When people think about their future selves, their brains respond as if they're thinking about a stranger. The regions that normally light up for the current self go quiet. The activation becomes weaker, distant, almost identical to the pattern we use when thinking about a stranger. And that explains everything. It explains why saving money for later feels like handing cash to a random person you've never met. It explains why skipping the gym, eating junk, or procrastinating feels harmless, because your brain treats the consequences as someone else's problem, not your own to deal with that later, but that someone else is still you, just older, and stuck with the bill. That's why sabotaging your future feels so easy. It doesn't feel like you will pay the price, but you will. Every skipped habit, every avoided responsibility, every "I'll deal with it later" is a debt your future self is forced to repay. Think this way. Whenever you act like your future self doesn't matter, imagine you're online shopping with a credit card that says 0% interest. For now. Every time you skip the gym, scroll instead of sleep, or order junk instead of cooking, you're swiping that card. It feels free and harmless. But the bill doesn't disappear, because just like those sneaky offers, the 0% interest doesn't last forever. At some point, months or years later, the grace period ends and the interest hits hard. That workout you skipped, now it's chronic back pain. That treat yourself moment, now it's quiet financial anxiety. Those lazy Sundays, now it's a life that feels behind. Every comfort you swiped on, your future self is the one stuck paying the bill. And trust me, the price is never what you thought. The price is always higher than you expected. Here's what you can do now. Reconnect with your future self. Stop imagining your future self as some blurry ghost 20 years away. Bring her closer. Ask yourself, if I met the 60-year-old version of me tomorrow, would she hug me and say thank you, or look at me and whisper, why did you leave me like this? Visualize her clearly, the version with back pain, less energy, less money. Would you even recognize her? Because the truth is, the person you're becoming will need you more than anyone else. If you want more energy at 60, make an effort and start moving your body. Do you want financial stress later? Automate $20 of your monthly savings for your future self. And before every choice you make, ask yourself this question. Will future me thank me or clean up the mess? Use this question like your compass. If you ask it often enough, your actions will start aligning with the person who you reconnect in the future. 2. Radical responsibility. You can't protect your future self unless you take responsibility for your life right now. That means you stop blaming your past, your parents, your ex, your job, or your situation. Even if something wasn't your fault, it's still your responsibility to deal with it. Radical responsibility means you stop waiting for someone else to fix things and start asking, what can I do right now to change this? If you're in debt, build a savings habit. If you're reactive, learn to pause before responding. It's not about pretending challenges don't exist. It's about taking control of how you respond. Because every excuse you make today becomes a problem your future self has to solve. Try this future self-responsibility technique to help you reconnect with your future self. Step 1 is self-awareness. You can't help your future self if you are not honest about what's happening right now. Instead of feeling sorry for yourself and asking, Why am I like that? Ask yourself what is true today, not what happened in the past, but the facts in the present moment. Not the person who took advantage of you in the past, but the fact that maybe you are broke now, and now is the only place you can act. Step 2. Look at the situation from outside. Imagine yourself like a fly on the wall, and ask yourself what the current situation is right now. What choices do I have, and how much will it cost my future self if I won't change that? Doing nothing feels neutral, but your future self feels the consequences. This technique can help you map the future cost of inaction. And if you change that, then the cost of your future self must pay will be much lower. Step 3. Name what you can control. This is where your radical responsibility becomes practical. Once you decide, it's only you responsible for your life. Ask yourself this question. What is under my control right now? You can't control your past, other people, or external circumstances. But you can control what you accept, what you delay, and what you do next. Step 4. Take one action now that helps your future self. Just one action that reduces the burden on your future self. Instead of spending money on takeaway, transfer that $20 to your savings for your future self. And every little action you take gives a clear message. I'm not leaving my future self to clean up the mess. Why does this technique work? Because when you take responsibility for your own life and your actions, you act as the future self is real and depending on you. And this is exactly what Hirschfield's research shows if you connect to your future self. Every right choice you make today benefit the future version of you. 3. Time misperception. What if I told you your brain is really bad at understanding time? Surprising but true. Psychologists call phenomenon temporal discounting. We overvalue what feels good now and undervalue what will help us later in the future. That's why scrolling feels easier than studying. Spending now feels easier than saving towards your future. Because your brain treats future rewards as less real. Understand that time feels unlimited until it doesn't. That's the time paradox. We waste it because we assume we have more. Psychologists in Bardo found that people have different time perspectives. Some are stuck in the past, some live only for the present, and some think about the future. His research shows something important. People who think about the future make better decisions today. You might ask why? Because when you remember time is limited, your priorities sharpen. But when you think you have forever, your brain tells you, I'll get fit later. I'll save next year. Use this strategic reframe technique to break from unlimited time thinking. Ask yourself this question. If my life had a deadline in 5 years, what would stop making sense immediately? Is it the draining relationship, the job you hate, or maybe the scrolling you won't remember? This question isn't meant to scare you, but to bring back urgency, because urgency creates clarity. Now, how to stop your brain from discounting time? Most people ask themselves, what do I feel like doing right now? And that question leads them to instant gratification, scrolling or eating junk food. Ask yourself those questions. What's one habit that's hurting my future self? And what's one small action I can take today to fix it? If you choose to eat fast food today, what problem does your future self inherit? Low energy, worse health, or less confidence? And what's the better option? Use the same money to buy fresh food and cook one simple meal. The more responsibility you take today, the less mess your future self has to clean up. If you found value in this video, subscribe to Healthy Minds CEO and let me know in the comments. Did any of this shift the way you think about your own life, even a little?